Good morning, traders. This is Rick Majors here at Opteck.com, and welcome to today's daily market briefing. A good May the 12th, Monday, beginning of the week, the worst day of the month, the worst day of any day, really. To start off, we have actually not a lot happening today, event-wise. I mean, we're looking at some usual things here. We have one FOMC member who is going to be speaking later in the day at 5 p.m. GMT. Really, what's looking out right now is not today. It's the rest of the week where we're going to be having a lot of major speeches coming on. We've got the German ZEW economic statement tomorrow. It's going to be very interesting with the euro, especially after ECB President Draghi's speech towards talking about creating a stimulus program by June, which is putting basically a deadline on the European Central Bank's need to kind of get itself together and start to create a more solid plan for how it's going to be starting to pull a lot of the problem countries like Spain, like Greece, out of economic trouble right now. For those of you who don't know, when we talk about recession and when we talked about, what has happened since 2008, a lot of countries have kind of come out of the dark spots, but they're still on a point where they're kind of hanging in limbo. What that really means, especially for a place like the Eurozone where you have several very different economies that are working very close to each other, especially in terms of their common currency. Having a country like Germany, who is very strong, has a very good focus on production and manufacturing, and is a very industrious, very forward-thinking country that is able to keep itself stable, and that's really where the advantage is there as a country for them, is that they have stability. What they lack is growth capability, and that was one of their big reasons for joining the European Union, was of course to have that growth, to get yourself a lot better deals on trading, a lot better deals on economic policy. And now what the curse for them really has been is that they've ended up propping up a lot of the debt-ridden countries that are in Europe right now, like Greece, like Spain. Italy is not doing that great, even though it is actually starting to prop itself up a lot better than it was before. So these kind of things are going to be very interesting to see tomorrow. We have also, a little bit later during the night, Royal Bank of New Zealand Financial Stability Report, and Governor Wheeler will be speaking. All right, Australia and New Zealand, these are the ones that we really want to be looking for in the next week, seeing as they are going to be talking a lot about industrial production, raw materials, mining, resource gathering, things like that, and how they're going to be able to keep it up, basically. I mean, Australia, with all its fame for being an industrious country with a lot of mining and resource gathering going on, it's going to be hard to keep that kind of demand supplied in the next 10, 20 years. And they need to start facing questions right now as to how they're really going to be able to perform. Now, for those of you who don't know, right now the major rift between Australia and China is that, of course, Australia sends a lot of its raw material production towards China, who then turns it into processed or finished goods and returns it back to places like Australia, New Zealand, United States, Europe. Without being able to keep up with that demand, China will force to lower its production, therefore lower its profits, and its economy takes a hit from that. So we're expecting right now that a lot of things are going to obviously be changing, and as we see in the economic atmosphere, be looking for the Australian dollar to start probably getting a little bit weaker in the next coming month. Rest of the week also, we can see here we have our usual slew of things happening. We have the monthly bulletin from the ECB. Keep an eye out on that as well. So they will be giving a little bit more updates on the financial status and the planning status as to how things are going right now in their stimulus package. All right, we have unemployment claims. All right, Yellen's going to be making another speech here again on Friday. Be aware of that. All right, U.S. dollar's been going very crazy recently. It's been taking some hits, but actually making more gains as of the last couple of weeks. Basically what we're seeing is that the U.S. dollar is in controversy right now as people are looking to find out, okay, what is it exactly that we've done in the last year? What does it mean, stimulus? All right, why did we cut it back? Because even Yellen herself right now is saying this is not an economy that's going to be surviving if we just cut it off completely. We have to do it in steps. We have to keep the stimulus there for at least another 5 years or so. You cannot simply just say, okay, we're done, the economy is going to work itself out. This is what Ben Bernanke tried to do in the 2010-2011 period, and it simply didn't work. Looking to say, okay, well, an economy that, is strong enough will simply run itself. This is a receded economy, and we're looking at this happening in the States, in Europe, and in Asia as well. As economies that are struggling, governments are simply saying, well, we'll give them a bunch of money and then let them work it out. In capitalism, you simply can't expect those kind of things to happen. You have to be able to understand the fact that an economy relies very heavily on its government for direction in terms of how overall it should be able to perform. And when an American economy is in a recession and you have large amounts of poverty, you have large amounts of unemployment, they are actually doing very good jobs right now in fixing that. However, they lack a consistent plan for the future. Anyway, we'll talk about the rest of that tomorrow when we have some more events coming and we have more information out on the table. That's it for our daily market briefing today. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on the bottom of the page, and stay tuned from Monday to Thursday every day at 10 a.m. GMT, or currently British summertime, that's BST. This is Rick Majors from Opteck.com. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a wonderful trading day.